Hey, my loves, welcome back to the Amanda Millie podcast, the space where we balance chaos and navigate the messy moments of life one day at a time. I'm Amanda Millie, and if you're new here, welcome. The podcast is all about self-growth, healing, and stepping into your highest self. Before we dive in, I just want to take a moment to say if you're watching this on YouTube, then please hit that subscribe button. And if you're listening to this, then please take a second to leave a quick review. Not for me or my ego, I promise I'm good. But because when you do, the algorithm does its thing and it helps more people who need these conversations to actually find them. Before we dive into today's episode, I have something exciting to share. If you are in London, I would love for you to join me for my spring equinox mini retreat on Saturday, March 15th from 2:30 till 5 p.m. Spring is the real new year. It's the season of renewal, of new beginnings, of blooming into the highest version of yourself. And that's exactly what this retreat is about. Shedding what no longer serves you, breathwork and future visioning to align with your next level. Creating a clear, intentional path forward. If this speaks to you, head over to my Instagram at Amanda Millie or at the Amanda Millie Pod. The link is in my bio or just DM me for the details. Okay, so today's topic is a deep one. We're talking about trusting the process and having faith while you're in that in-between phase. You know, that in-between phase of growth. When you know you don't belong in your old life anymore, but your new life hasn't fully taken shape yet. That phase where you've planted the seeds for what you want, but the results haven't bloomed yet. That phase where you've outgrown your old self, but stepping into the new version of you feels shaky, uncomfortable, and uncertain. I know this phase so well, honestly, because I'm in it right now. For the longest time, I didn't even know what I wanted. I really only knew what I didn't want. Then over the last few years, I started getting clear, like crystal clear. What do I actually want? What excites me? What life do I want to build? And that clarity was a blessing, but also a bit of a curse because once I knew what I wanted, the next question is, how do I actually make this happen? Let me tell you, that part is hard. Because now it's like, okay, I've planted the seeds, I've done the work, I've laid the foundation, and I kind of have a vision of what comes next. I know what comes next, but now I have to trust. I remember a time even that long ago when I felt completely lost. Not the kind of lost where you have no idea what you want. No, this is a different one. This is the kind of loss where you finally know what you want, but you have no idea how to actually reach it. And in some ways, that felt even scarier. I had done the work. I had peeled back the layers of conditioning, let go of things that no longer served me, walked away from situations, relationships, and work that felt misaligned with the person I was becoming. And for the longest time, my only real sense of direction had been through elimination. I knew what I didn't want. I didn't want relationships where I felt unseen. I didn't want work that drained me. I didn't want to keep shrinking myself just to make other people comfortable. And by moving through what I didn't want, I gained clarity on what I actually want. Clarity through contrast. It's an exercise I use in my coaching practice because so often we get frustrated when we find ourselves in situations that don't align. We think, why does this keep happening? Why do I keep attracting the same things? But what if those experiences weren't just roadblocks? What if they were breadcrumbs leading you to clarity? Every time you encounter something that feels wrong, that makes you uncomfortable, that pushes up against your boundaries, that's information, that's feedback. That's contrast guiding you towards what's truly meant for you. And that's exactly how I started to shape my vision. I had left behind what I didn't want. I had gotten clear on what I did want, but I had no idea how to actually get there. And that in-between space is excruciating because this is the part no one actually talks about. We celebrate the breakthrough. We celebrate the results. But what about the messy middle? What about the waiting season? That moment when you can see where you're headed, but you have no idea how to actually step into it. That moment when you know who you're becoming, but you're not fully her yet. That moment where you've burned the bridge of your old life, but you haven't arrived at your new one. Feels like being in a waiting room in a way. No clock, no updates, no way of knowing how long you'll be there. And honestly, it's terrifying because when we're in that space, the mind starts to panic. We start questioning, am I making the right choice? What if I never figured this out? What if I fail? And then comes the urge to retreat because clarity, real clarity, comes with responsibility. Once you know what you want, you can't unsee it. Once you've expanded, it's impossible to shrink back into your old life and actually be happy there. And yet stepping into it, that's the part that feels terrifying because now you actually have to trust yourself enough to go after it. I had planted the seeds, but I wasn't trusting them to grow. I was treating my life like a garden, but instead of allowing the process to unfold, I'm standing over the soil, checking every 5 minutes to see if anything has sprouted. I wanted certainty. I wanted proof. I wanted to know exactly how it would all work out before I even took the next step. But here's what I had to learn the hard way. You don't rush growth. A flower doesn't bloom because you force it. It blooms when it's ready. It doesn't stand there anxious and impatient, demanding to know when it will blossom. It doesn't dig itself up every day to check if the roots are working. It just grows. And the waiting season, that's where the magic happens. Because here's what I realized. The in-between is where you develop your strength, your resilience, and trust to hold the life you are manifesting. The in-between is where you become the person who can actually receive what you're asking for. The in-between is where you build the foundation. It's not a delay. It's not a punishment. It's a transformation. So instead of resisting the waiting season, what if you leaned into it? What if you treated this time as sacred? What if you used it to deepen your trust, to refine your vision, to prepare for what's coming? What if instead of trying to rush your growth, you let it unfold in perfect timing? Because I promise you this, the seeds you've planted, they will bloom. The next chapter, it's already on its way. Your only job is to trust. Keep watering, keep believing, and let it grow. So how do you know you're in this in-between phase? How do you recognize that what feels like uncertainty is actually a sign that you're growing, evolving, and moving towards something greater? If any of these resonate, then you are exactly where you need to be. You feel uncomfortable, but in a way that feels like expansion. Growth is rarely comfortable. You're stretched, challenged, and pushed outside of your comfort zone. But here's the difference. This discomfort does not feel like suffering. It feels like expansion. It's like wearing a pair of shoes that you've outgrown. You used to fit into them just fine, but now they pinch, they restrict, they don't feel right anymore. That's the discomfort of growth. You're literally outgrowing an old version of yourself. Maybe you've started setting boundaries and it feels awkward and new. Maybe you're stepping into new opportunities and the unknown feels terrifying. Maybe you're letting go of an identity. And even though it no longer serves you, you feel exposed, you feel raw and uncertain. And yet something inside you knows you are expanding. That's why this discomfort is not just fear, it's a signal, a sign that you are stretching beyond your limits into something new and actually probably quite amazing. Secondly, your old life no longer fits, but your new one isn't fully here yet. That's the frustrating part, right? You can feel that your old way of being no longer aligns. The people, the habits, the routines that once felt comfortable now feel restrictive. The life that once made sense no longer resonates. But the new life you're building, it hasn't fully formed yet. So it's like you're standing in the doorway between two worlds and you've left one behind, but you haven't fully stepped into the other. Maybe the friendships that used to feel easy now feel heavy, or the career that you once aspired to no longer excites you, but you don't know what's next. Or maybe you're feeling the pull towards something greater, but you're not sure just how to bridge that gap. This is the void, the space between who you were and who you're becoming. As uncomfortable as it is, this space is necessary because what's happening beneath the surface, you're recalibrating. You're clearing out what no longer serves you so that what's truly aligned can enter. Trust that this space isn't empty. It's creating room for something greater. Number 3, you feel called to something bigger, but you're questioning everything. Have you ever felt that moment where you just know you're meant to be more, but the doubt creeps in? It's that feeling of, I know I'm capable of more, but can I really do it? You feel the pull towards a new path, a higher level, a greater version of yourself. But at the same time, you're questioning, am I really ready? What if I fail? What if I go all in and it doesn't work? This doubt doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It means you're right on the edge of something powerful. Because every expansion is met with resistance. Your brain wants certainty. It wants proof before it lets you take the leap. But clarity comes through action, not overthinking. If you feel called to something bigger, but you're questioning everything, take it as confirmation that you're on the right path. Number 4 is you can feel alone, misunderstood, or disconnected. I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you. Growth can be lonely because not everyone around you is growing at the same pace. You might start feeling like you don't relate to the same conversations. The people you used to vibe with, their energy no longer aligns with yours. And maybe for the first time, you feel misunderstood. Like people don't quite get what you're doing. The old friendships feel different. You're craving deeper connections, but you haven't found your people yet. You haven't found your tribe. This loneliness is not a sign that things are wrong or things are going bad. It's a sign that you're evolving. I've been through this one myself specifically, and I remember sitting thinking, what the heck is going on right now? But I can tell you, you're shifting, you're raising your frequency, and in that shift, some people will fall away, and that's okay. Because the people meant for you for the next level, they're coming. The key is to keep showing up as your authentic self. Because when you do, you'll naturally attract the people who are aligned with who you are becoming. Number 5 is everything is shifting. Your mindset, your priorities, and how you see the world. This is one of the biggest signs of transformation. You don't see the world the same way anymore. The things you used to care about no longer hold the same weight. The dreams and aspirations you once had, they've evolved. The way you approach challenges, you're handling things differently. And this shift is powerful, but it can also feel disorienting. When your mindset changes, your reality has to shift to reflect that. And that process takes time. You're likely in the process of becoming a new version of yourself. This is why the in-between phase is so important. It's the time where your external reality starts catching up to the internal shifts you've made. And even if it feels slow, trust that it is happening for your highest good. Now, if this resonates, You're exactly where you're supposed to be. The in-between phase is uncomfortable, but is also sacred because this is where your old self falls away. Your new self is built. You step into the life you were meant for. So instead of resisting this phase, honor it and trust and know that you are not lost. You're not behind. You are right on time. Keep trusting, keep believing, because the version of you that's coming, she's worth the wait. If you felt like you could resonate and that was you, things that I feel like will probably help on this path is recognition. Recognize that discomfort equals growth. Most of us have been conditioned to believe that if something feels uncomfortable, it must mean something is wrong. But what if discomfort isn't a sign that you're off track, but a sign that you're expanding? Think about it. Every major transformation in life comes with discomfort. When you're working out and your muscles burn, that's growth. When you're learning something new and it feels awkward, that's growth. And when you're stepping into a new version of yourself and everything feels unfamiliar, that's also growth. We have to reframe the discomfort. Instead of seeing it as a reason to doubt, see it as a confirmation that you are evolving. Ask yourself, what if this discomfort isn't here to stop me, but to shape me? What if this uncertainty is actually proof that I'm stepping into something bigger? What if this is the stretch before the breakthrough? The life you want requires you to grow into the version of yourself who can hold it. Growth is messy. It's uncomfortable. It's uncertain, but it's necessary. You have to remind yourself that you've planted the seeds. When you're in the waiting season, it's easy to feel like nothing's happening. Just because you can't see the results yet doesn't mean growth isn't happening beneath the surface. Think about a seed. When you plant it, you don't see instant results for days, weeks, even months. It looks like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, it's taking root. The same is happening in your life. Every step you've taken, every action you've committed, every shift you've made internally, it's all adding up, even if you can't see it yet. You wouldn't dig up a plant every day to check if it's growing. So why are you doing that to your manifestations? Trust that the work you've put in is creating something, even if you can't see it yet. Shift your focus from when will it happen to how can I prepare? One of the biggest mistakes we make in the waiting season is obsessing over the timeline. And I personally guilty of this one. We start thinking, why hasn't it happened yet? When will I finally get there? Is this ever going to happen for me? That energy creates resistance because when you're constantly checking, waiting, doubting, you're focusing on lack rather than alignment. So instead, shift your focus. Instead of asking, when will it happen? Ask, how can I prepare? How can I make sure I'm in a state that's ready to receive? Because if what you wanted arrived tomorrow, would you be ready? If your dream career showed up, would you have the skills and confidence to step into it? If your ideal relationship appeared, would you be emotionally available for it? If your manifestation landed in your lap right now, would you be able to handle it? Preparation is part of the process. Instead of waiting anxiously, start preparing boldly. Act as if it's already happening. Move like it's on its way, because when you do, you create the space for it to arrive. Make sure you're taking the time to ground yourself daily. When you're in a season of uncertainty, the best thing you can do is create stability within yourself. Because let's be real, when life feels chaotic, our minds can spiral into fear, doubt, and overthinking. But having daily rituals that bring you back to center will help keep you on track. So what are the things that help you feel grounded no matter what's happening externally? Some of my favorites, my absolute favorite is breath work, regulating your nervous system and shifting into trust. Journaling is a good one that gets you out of your head and helps you to gain clarity. If you head over to amandamillie.com, I have a free download with a 7-day manifestation journaling prompt that will help you clarify your manifestations, to get clear on what you want to manifest in your life, your goals, and to help move through resistance. Meditation, quieting the noise and connecting to your intuition. Movement, getting out of stagnant energy and into flow. I love to put on one of my favorite songs and just dance for 2 minutes. The amount of energy that moves through you, the way that it will relax you and get you flowing and fully present in your body, you would be surprised. Of course, affirmations as well, rewriting the narratives that keep you stuck in fear. Because here's the thing, you can't always control external circumstances, but you can control how you show up for yourself. When you're rooted in daily rituals, you create inner stability even when everything outside of you feels uncertain. Let go of control, but stay aligned in action. There's a very fine line between taking inspired action and trying to force things into existence. If you're in the in-between phase, it's crucial to know the difference. Aligned action equals moving with trust, clarity, and intuition. Forced action equals moving from fear, lack, and desperation. Can you see the difference? When you're trying to control every detail, micromanage the timing, and force an outcome, you're operating from fear, not faith. But when you're taking aligned action, you're moving because you trust it's already unfolding, not because you're scared it won't happen. Ask yourself, am I taking this action from a place of fear or faith? Am I trying to control everything, or am I allowing things to flow? Am I aligned with the energy of the version of me who already has what I want? Your job is not to control the how or the when. Your job is to stay aligned, stay open, and trust that everything is unfolding for you in the perfect way at the perfect time. Trusting the process. The waiting season is hard. This is where you become the version of yourself who can really hold what you're asking for. You learn patience, trust, and surrender. You refine your vision for what's coming. Instead of resisting this phase, honor it. You're not stuck. You're not lost. You are in preparation. And when the time is right, everything will fall into place as it was meant to. Keep trusting, keep showing up, because your breakthrough is already on its way. It's time for our wellness tip of the week. This week, it is about the art of surrender. Trusting the process doesn't mean doing nothing. It means learning to move in faith, not fear. One of the biggest misconceptions about trusting the process is that it's passive, that it means sitting around waiting for things to fall into place. But surrender isn't about waiting. It's about letting go of resistance while still showing up fully. Think about when you're learning to swim. If you panic and flail, the water feels chaotic, overwhelming, impossible. But the moment you stop fighting the current and you allow yourself to float, the water holds you and you don't sink. That's surrender. Learning to float in the uncertainty instead of drowning in overthinking. So here's your challenge for this week. Start your day with a trust breath. Inhale, I am supported. Exhale, everything is unfolding for me in the best way possible. Do this before checking your phone, before getting out of bed, before your brain starts spinning with what ifs, and then write down 3 reasons why you already know this is working out. Maybe you started to see small shifts happening, or maybe you're no longer in the same space you were a year ago, or it could be because you feel deep down that you're on the right path. Then move with faith, not fear. Take one small action each day that aligns with the future you're stepping into. Stop micromanaging every detail. Act as if it's already done and trust your own momentum. Because here's the truth. Worrying doesn't make things happen faster. Doubting yourself doesn't create better outcomes. But moving with trust shifts everything. So this week, I want you to practice embodying trust. Walk like your dreams are already unfolding. Speak like you know it's all working out. Rest in the knowing that your growth is inevitable. The seeds you've planted are already taking root. You just have to let them grow. And before we wrap up, just another quick reminder for my London loves. This is your sign. Join me on March 15th for a powerful spring equinox mini retreat, a sacred space to shed the old, breathe in fresh energy, and set your intentions for the season ahead. This isn't just an event, it is an activation. Breathwork to release and renew, future visioning to align with your next level, a reset for your mind, body, and spirit. If you feel the nudge, trust it. Head to my Instagram at Amanda Millie or Amanda Millie Pod. The link is in the bio for details, or just drop me an email or a DM if that's easier. Trust, surrender, grow. That's exactly where you're supposed to be right now, today. Even in the uncertainty, even in the waiting, everything is unfolding for you in perfect timing. So this week, ask yourself, where am I holding on too tightly? How can I lean into trust a little bit more? What would it feel like to fully believe that it's all working out? Let that be your energy moving forward. So until next time, my friend, thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. Live inspired, heal fully, and thrive authentically. Take care.